Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is the premier business radio program. I'm your host, Mike King. You can free reach me on all platforms at hashtag Mike King Biz, hashtag On the Mic with Mike. The radio program On the Mic with Mike broadcasting on ESPN Richmond 106.1, as well as the Choice 105.3. It is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network. Normally, I come to you from a number of places, but I came back home. A man left the lights on for me, as you can see in the background. Mike King coming to you from the Remix Market with my man Andy Taylor. He is here with us. He's hosting us today. He is one of the sponsors of the program. He is with Junk Luggers. Everybody knows him. They're the guys with the lime green trucks that are out there doing amazing things, picking up things from your house, and then he fixes them up to things that can be. And then what we do is he brings the rest of them to the Remix Market. We got a host of friends walking by right there. But today, right now, we are with Antoinette Charles, who owns Your CBD store in Short Pump. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So we're here at the Remix Market. We're at this lovely table right here. You have your notes with us because you just want to make sure that we are up to par. We're talking about what happens with the CBD world. Let's talk about your business. Let me get the 30-second elevator pitch.
Okay, so I'm Antoinette, the owner of Your CBD store in Richmond, located at Short Pump. And I just want to bring across to everyone remove the stigma of CBD and what it is, what's the difference between CBD and marijuana, and how it can benefit you to have a well-balanced life.
Because people are totally confused. What's the
Absolutely.
difference? I mean, when you look at the plant, I ain't an expert, but they look the same.
Yes, so CBD is a cannabidiol, which is a compound found in a high concentration of the cannabis plant, which is found in hemp. Hemp and marijuana are cousins. So you may look like your cousin, you may have the same color hair or the same smart, but you different.
Yeah, and some cousins we don't like. The only time we see them are at funerals. And we always say the same thing. Let's get together. And the next time we see them is at the next funeral.
Exactly.
Because we're different.
We're different.
So hemp and marijuana
are cousins. Yes, marijuana is mainly harvested for
recreational
purposes, and you get as much as over 20% of the THC. And THC is that active, mind-blowing things that when you take it, you feel a little bit, say, on the high side.
Okay.
And so hemp is really harvested. You can get food out of hemp. People use it to make rope. People use it for fabric.
So so that we are clear with this, you have the actual talking points and things that people get wrong, because you want our listeners to understand what the differences is.
Absolutely. Yes. CBD is really for calming effects, for balancing. When you take it, you feel balanced, because we all have the endocannabinoid system in our body. And most of us, it's not balanced. When we take it, we feel balanced, we feel better. We want to get up and do our chores. We want to get up and go to work, and we just feel more well-balanced.
Alrighty, on the mic with Mike here with Antoinette Charles. We're at the Remix Market, 625 Washington Avenue in Ashland. Sorry about that. Got the frog in the throat. We're coming to you. There's some outstanding things right there. We're going to take a look around and show you what they have here. They have all kinds of things. We're sitting at a very nice dining room table that they have. And what this is what they do is they get it from your home, and then they bring it here, fix it up a little bit if it needs to, and then they sell it to you and me, and then they donate the proceeds to nonprofits. That's the way it's done, ladies and gentlemen. That's also the part that Antoinette does in the community, which is taking care of the community. But right now we're talking about CBD. What are some of the questions that people hit you up with the whole CBD thing?
Well, the biggest misconception that people come into the store, they want to know, is CBD the same thing as marijuana? So
yes,
it's from the same plant, the same cannabis plant, but it's not the same thing as the marijuana. So that's the biggest thing. So we have to explain to them what the difference is and what the benefits of them.
So for young, spry people like me, the senior citizen, I'm the sterling 62-year-old, there's certain things that it helps with.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about some of the things that it helps people with when we use CBD products.
Actually, the FDA has approved a form of CBD, which is to help with seizures due to, when people are having the seizures, right, due to epilepsy. So that's a big deal. And many people use it for calming. Many people will use a form of it for sleep because about 50 to 70 million people do not get enough sleep, frequently, which is a huge amount of people.
And a lot of times not getting enough sleep has very bad medical consequences.
Of course, absolutely. You can't focus in the morning. Your brain is just you in a fog, so to speak. So it helps with that. And we also help. There's one thing that's called the CBG, which we'll talk about at a later time. And the CBG, it's a kind of a gel, and that helps with the focusing, and that helps with the uplifting, and to make sure that you have a balanced day.
Because so CBD helps people with, it's a calming effect.
It is, yes, you can calm, yes, absolutely.
So what type of services do you guys do at the store, at your CBD store?
So at the store, when you come in, you'll basically tell us what you're in for. We give you a tour of the store to see what's available, and then you'll tell us what ails you more. So we will, it's either sleep deprivation, or I can't focus, or I have no energy, and then we will go from there. And so with the CBD, where they come in tinctures, water solubles, topicals, award-winning topical, and we
topical, that's rubbing on the skin,
like a cream, right? Which we won an award for best CBD topical.
Okay.
And so bath bombs, of course, for the pets, and vape sticks. And
that's right. So you guys have for the pets as well.
Absolutely, because they have the same system as we do. Absolutely. So it is a all-rounded mind settling, state that once your body is in that state, you just become your better self. And you cannot take too much of it, but you can't waste it. Once your body gets enough of it, it just wouldn't absorb it anymore.
So what you're saying is I just can't be popping CBD gummies like right. I do regular gummies.
You can take it, but once your body reaches homeostasis, that's it. It's just going to get rid of the rest of it until the next day.
So when I walk into your CBD store and it is in Short Pump, what's the address and how can people find you?
It's 3442 Lauderdale Drive, and that's in Henrico, 23233.
Okay, I walk in the door. What happens when I walk in? I know nothing about CBD. I'm kind of scared, so I peek in.
And then
I look in. Okay.
We motion to you to come
on in.
Right.
We're legit.
As soon as you walk in, we have what's called a sample table. We have the topicals, we have the water solubles, so you can.
So wait, what are the water solubles? What's that? What do you do with that?
Water soluble, you take it in maybe a cup of water, juice, coffee.
Oh.
And it kicks in about 5 minutes, and it lasts from about 4 to 6 hours.
So you can see the person walks in and they're kind of like this. They take a shot of the water soluble. You see, it's a shot. Guys don't give it in shot glasses.
No, we do.
No, okay. The nice little teacups.
We have water.
Like the teacups like we have here at Three Mix Market. See? So we come in here, we get a little bit of water solubles. In a couple minutes.
You start to feel better. No, you're not going to feel high. It doesn't have that.
But I just feel.
Compound. You feel like, wow, I'm feeling my best today. And so we will give you that if you have maybe some illnesses, or if you have something on your wrist or whatever it is, we'll offer you the sample of the topical to rub it, go to the bathroom if it's on your knee per se, or rub it on you, and then you'll see how it is, because it's more local. And so if you can get it in your body and on your body, it's the best of all worlds.
So Antoinette Charles, your CBD store, you were going down through what exactly the products of CBD. So you have them for animals, you have them, people can take them. Now, what's the most popular one that people come in? Like, what's the most popular thing that people like when they come to your CBD store?
The gummies, hands down, the gummies. They love the gummies. It helps they take it to help with sleeping. They take it because they feel good. Definitely the gummies, hands down.
Gummies in there.
Yes.
So who comes into the market? Are they younger people like me, more mature, seasoned people? Who are your customers?
More mature people, I'd have to say, for sure. And they come in and they've either heard about it or they're curious what it is. And so they'll come in and they'll ask questions, and we'll give them answers, and they'll get some stuff, and then we'll check upon them in maybe about a week or so to see how things are going. And depending on to make sure, first of all, that they are taking it as they should. So the tinctures you put underneath your tongue, the receptors in your mouth will absorb it underneath your tongue. That's how that one is supposed to be taken. So maybe they put it on their tongue and they swallow it. You have to hold it for 90 seconds. So we'll check up on them. Did you keep it under your tongue for 90 seconds and then you swallowed it, to make sure that they've been taking it as recommended?
Because people will take things wrong.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
then you have the wrong effect because you don't have the maximum effect because you've taken it incorrectly.
So you're new to the CBD store. You recently opened. You took over, it was in January.
It was February.
In February.
Yes.
So and you also have a family tied to, well, you were with foster care and adoption, and you also talk about how CBD products can help special needs kids,
Yes.
because you
So
got a couple.
I have a couple. They don't take it. I do have a couple, but CBD is
Can
known to
can do
help,
that.
absolutely, to help kids with maybe ADHD. The people have taken it for those kids for that. Customers will come in and they will look for their kids, whether the kids are in college or so, and the doctor can say, go on and try the CBD on them and see. And I've had stories where the children are doing really, really great. Or even in college, the college kids, they're able to focus and they're able to do well at school.
Shout out to my friend Lisa Trani. Lisa's out there in social media land. She is a PR expert, and she is also one of the women's speaking sports RVA. She's award winning. So shout out to our good friends, Dr. Danny, over at the Women's Business Resource Center. If anyone needs any type of business resources, and 95% of them are free for women, minority businesses, make sure you check out the Women's Business Resource Center over at Virginia Union. They can help you out there. When you started, so you're a business owner now, when you started the journey, what was the first thing, like, how did you decide on a franchise? And we talked about this a little before, the benefits of a franchise, because my man Andy Taylor, he went down that same road with the franchise. Some people want to live dangerous. I don't want to call it dangerous. They want to be adventurous, and they go and start something on their own and have to figure everything out. Let's talk about your journey through owning a franchise.
Well, the franchise comes with, of course, guidelines, which helps you right off the go. And so they'll say, well, did you do this? Did you do that? And you're like, okay, of course, you have to get your own attorney, which I have my own attorney.
We
And
talked
then,
about that yesterday, like the benefits of having an attorney.
absolutely, who will go comb through the agreement before you sign and said, this is what stood out in my mind. What do you think about that? And if you're okay with that, you say, okay, let's move forward. So the franchise will help you. I bought a store that was already up and running, but the franchise will help you select a location, and they will help you with the lease, with securing the lease. And then you don't have to worry about where am I getting the products from, because you get the products directly from them. And you don't have to worry about what's my vision for the store, because the store has a basic vision. And then of course you just put your own spin on it. So that was the very, very easy part. And then the rest is history pretty much. Now it's just a matter of letting people know where I am and that I exist.
What are some of the drawbacks you would tell a person looking back on this process? If I'd known that, what would you have done different in the process? Anything?
Well, I'd have to say that if I had known all the different steps, because there's a lot of steps still, all the different steps, maybe I would have done something a little bit more to say, okay, I'll skip steps 2 and 3. I wouldn't go through everything that it states, if I'm making any sense. And that's pretty much it, because it's pretty cut and dry, the franchise. Now, owning a franchise, you're not able, if you are a visionary, you're not able to do everything that you want, right? Because there are guidelines. However, you do have attorneys behind you. You have a back end that you wouldn't normally have, or you will have to get on your own to help you in case something were to go wrong.
Antoinette Charles here with us on the mic with Mike, the best business radio program around, coming to you today from the good friends over here at the Remix Market. Hey, shout out to Amanda Edie. How you doing out there? Oh, it's me. Here, that's me. That's me there. I just want to, but that's Antoinette Charles. She owns the Your CBD store. That's what she owns. We're talking about her journey going through. So you want to have an impact on the community. I always say, like I talked to Andy, changing the world ain't easy, cheap, or free. You kind of got to make the money, because that helps you do all the other things that you want to do. Let's talk about your vision for your store and the community.
So my vision for my store is to have everyone, for my store to be the go-to place to get educated on the CBD, as opposed to, my cousin said something to me. Well, half of it may be true, half of it may be misunderstood.
Okay, my cousin's brother's uncle's nephew's sister told me that you could get addicted to, CBD gummies.
Right. You see, and that is totally false. It's non-addictive, right? So,
but they do. They might taste. Do they taste good?
They taste
See,
good.
That's the problem. When I was a kid, we used to get those little orange aspirins. Andy, can you remember the aspirins? That they used to taste pretty good, and that's what get kids in trouble because they would eat them because we thought hey, I'm just taking aspirins because they taste good.
Yes, well, there are terpene rich, and so terpenes are things that are found in nature or in animals that add to a product. So a terpene could be blueberry, or it could be cinnamon or lavender, anything that will enhance the color or the flavor of something. So a lot of our products are terpene rich. Just, like, you have apples, and then of course you add spices to apple or cinnamon to apple. That just makes it taste better.
So, on the mic with Mike, see, that's what we bring him. This is educational radio. This isn't foolishness like a lot of times I'm bringing to you with some of the fun stuff. This is some serious business information right here. That's what we do. Great guests. That's why we got the top business radio program on radio. So we just finished up with this is April Fool's Day, but that's another story. Let's talk about some of the things when women come to you as an inspiration. Tell us about being a woman-owned business, or some of the hurdles that you've seen, or let's just talk about that for a moment.
Well, the biggest thing that really got me taken aback was when I had to sign my lease. One of the questions was, were you married?
Really?
And yes. And
Well,
if you're not married, then you've been considered for differently than if you aren't. And that's just to sign the lease. And then it says, okay, this is an unmarried woman with a lease versus a married woman with a lease. And that was a big thing. In 2022, you have to answer that question.
That's it. So now if you're a man and you see that, you just check the box and really don't even think, but you don't care. It's just like yes or no. You're not. But I guess as a woman,
it's a consideration by a leasing company, and it's legal because they're able to ask it, and you have to answer.
Like, of course, Mike. Of course, that people look at it. See, informational radio. That's what we bring to you here, cutting edge information, because we don't think about it that way.
Right. Yeah. And it was called it unfair. Of course, it's not. Of course, it's not fair, because if it were someone else, that wouldn't be a question. They wouldn't even think twice about it. So they were thinking, maybe I'm not able to fulfill my leasing agreement. I might need a husband, as backup, which is kind of unheard of because this is 2022. But that's one of the big. That was one of the big hurdles that I had to come over, and it was mainly more on an emotional side, because as opposed to saying, okay, can I do this? I looked at it, I had to check it off because I needed to get into the space. So I had to answer the question.
So you're going down answering the question, and you get to that question and you're like, hold up a second.
Gave me pause, but then I had to answer it. Otherwise I would not be considered for the space.
All righty. And, we have folks shaking their heads like, of course, that's the way it is. Like I said, a man, a lot of times not going to be sexist or whatever, but I probably am. Man gets to that box, he checks it yes or no and keeps it moving. We don't even think that how we're going to be viewed if we check it one way or the other.
Of course, absolutely.
On the mic with Mike. Antoinette Charles is here. How can people find you out there?
Okay, you can find me at the website getsunmed.com, or you can find me at cbdrx4u.com, cbdrx4u.com.
Okay, Mike is here, Antoinette is here. We got to go. Antoinette, so you survived it. It wasn't as terrifying as you thought it would be. It was? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so let's give our listeners a couple ideas of things that they should know about with CBD right off the bat.
Okay, so right off the bat, you should know that it's non-habit forming, and it is a non-psychoactive compound. It's used for things like uplifting, balancing. It's used for sleep. Another form of it is used for sleep. Another form of it is used for focusing. And you could put it in your body. You could smoke it. You could vape it. You could rub it on your body, or you can drink it. Doesn't matter how you get it into your body, as long as you've gotten it into your body, you get the homeostasis. And
we can't overdose on CBD gummies.
You cannot. You can waste it because your body doesn't need it anymore, but you cannot overdose on it.
But it's probably more expensive than getting those gummies from Kroger. So yeah. So maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, okay, never mind. Yes. I should just take them as it's listed.
Yes, as recommended.
Okay, you're going to be back on the program. You're going to give us information other times. We all know CBD.
Right.
But then you started throwing out some other things to me I mean, like, okay, what else is it? Now, we aren't going to go into these, but
Right.
just to give our listeners an idea of what's coming. Because
Okay.
we got to prepare people because, people like me, my age, we need things to sort of, be in order. I just can't have things all willy-nilly. So, okay, so CBD, we know we're experts on that now.
Right. So we
Well,
also
not really, but you're the expert.
Right. So we know more about CBD than we've done originally, right?
Gotcha. Okay, we got that down.
Okay. So there are about 160 different compounds. It's huge. The number one is the CBD.
Okay.
Then we have CBG, and CBG is helping with daytime, with uplifting. That's what gets you out of bed in the morning. That's what gets you focusing in school. That's what gets you focusing at work. And then we have the CBN, and the CBN is mainly for calming, for nighttime. So you're able to go to sleep, you're able to stay asleep.
So we just lump all those things in a CBD, and we're wrong because we're like, take CBD, it'll help you calm. You take CBD, it'll stop stuff from hurting. So those are different things. So we got CBD, CBG, and CBN.
Right. And that's just 3 of them. There are, like I said, there are over 160 different compounds that people can use for certain things.
One of Mike Antoinette is here. We are coming to you from the Remix Market, 625 North Washington, right? In Ashland, the center of the universe. Good folks over here, Junk Luggers. They are behind this fine operation. We're going to show you around a little bit. That way you can see some of the things coming here. They have everything here. There's a lovely table we're at right now. Ivan knew, Andy moved it. It's a leaf, and that means it helps the table get bigger. See, folks, that's right. That's that Pennsylvania education right there showing up. All right, we got to run. One of Mike, part of Mike King Biz Radio Network. I'd like to thank Junk Luggers for being a sponsor of the program. So Mike King Biz Radio, which is ESPN Richmond, 106.1 from 5 to 7. That's right. Get up with us 2 to 3 every day from on the choice, which is gospel radio. So, you get up with us, then, we touch your soul, possibly, hopefully. And that is 105.3. And then we're on International Business Growth Radio. You can follow me on social platforms, # Mike King Biz, # on the mic with Mike. Antoinette, one last time, how can people find you?
You can find me at your CBD, getsudmed.com or cbdrxforyou.com.
There you go, folks. We got to run. As I always say, the microphone ain't free, plus my grandkids need stuff. Well, my grandson doesn't because he's kind of like in trouble these days. But we'll talk to you soon.